What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collected clips where you already know. Das, 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 das. Well, what's up, brothers? We get this super wood in. But before we get this super wood in, let's get this intro in. Bang, bang. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So are you ready, brothers? Do you have your mid-afternoon coffee ready? Damn, that shit hurts my throat when I do that. Let's get it, right? Another super wood, man. And this one is the Halloween edition.
And they show me the abuela so I can come and get involved. They say,
my primo Pepe was definitely involved. So I remember this year. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember it like it was. I remember you, homie. I remember like it was yesterday. What MC Boulevard? I don't really care for MC Boulevard, but some do. Anyways, right? This was 1997. 1997 was that year. And I remember, man, around that time, I was 19 years old, cold, bold. Hey, I thought I was a super northern whooping, right? I was on my whopping shit. I had my long Mongolian drop. You know what I'm saying? I was just ready to go to fucking Pelican Bay. Let's go. I was on my shit. And of course, I was hanging around Roach. And the aroma that used to come from his house, besides his mom's stale ass Salisbury steak meatloaf hybrid that she was making, was meth. Okay, was caca. So every time I'd go over there, needless to say, I was wide awake. Now, this was October 1997. I'll never forget because around that time, man, Pepe was on the run like a son of a gun, man. He had got caught up. This was like, I think one of the first times that he actually went to prison, and it was a bad one. He ended up doing 7 years or 6 years, in prison. And so he was on the run. He was staying with me. At that time, my tia was in Chowchilla, and so the house was shut down. Every time that my tia went to prison, I could fucking close my house because I don't trust Ricky. Now, because last time I came, remember when I went, we had roaches? I said, yeah. That when I came, we had double the roaches. So I have a limit. I have a limit, like 10,000 is my limit. I fuck around, went in there, and the roaches were sitting on the couch. Bitch, who are you? When I walked in, I'm good. I shouldn't have to fucking fight the roaches from my bed. That when I had to do that, enough was enough. Lock my house up. Okay, take all the food, take it to grandma's house. So Ricky basically would stay with my grandma during that time, or whatever family member that he could stay with while his mom was doing her little time in Chowchilla, like it wasn't no thing. My tia was in there like, bitch, who's gonna fucking eat my pussy? Like she was different. Straight up, right? So at that time, Ricky was staying with my grandma, so the house was shut down. So Pepe's mom had called and she was like, mijo. And I was like, yeah, what's up, tia? She was like, do me a favor. I'm going to send Pepe down there on the Greyhound. Can you pick him up? I said, yeah, where you want me to take him? She said, to your house. I said, well, hold up. I barely have a house. And she goes, well, do you have one or you don't? I said, yeah, but barely. It's my old lady's house. Well, that's good enough. Mijo is going to come stay with you for a while. Now, at that time, I was with my first baby mama, the first chick, right? And she was one of those ones where we argued a lot because she always wanted to go out and be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I love my oldest daughter, man, and I don't want to talk about your mom like that, but you know, she was kind of hoe. Right? So, anyways, man, I didn't trust her around Pepe because I know he'd be like, yes, look, I'm not trying to step on your toes, but she was looking at my pee-pee. Like, what? Give me the hola so I can tell you the story. Help me out. I'm trying to get higher than I. Give me Weller to Weller, Send it woman to woman, however you want to do it. Not for real. I came out of the shower and I wasn't wearing chonies and she was looking at my pee-pee. I said, well, of course, you were buck naked. Now, that doesn't count, is it? She could turn away, but she could do it slowly, because she was like this, right? So he would always tell stories. I already knew how he was every time he come to my pet. He said, I like her nalgas. I said, who? Your lady. I didn't say I wanted him. I said, I liked him. He said, you liked it what? I liked it or fucking nalgas. Show me the hola. I'll tell you the whole story. He always wanted $10 to tell a story. So anyways, around this time, he needed to come. So I was like, all right, tia, anything. My tia in Compton is different. Like, we always had a great relationship. She'd be like, mijo, there's only one scoop of beans left. I'm going to give you and Pepe half. My cousin, the one that's always high, Marijuana, will be like, what about me, mom? Fuck you. Yeah, she's Pepe's her favorite. I'll just say that. And Chiruju Juice. Chiruju Juice was definitely her favorite daughter that wasn't a daughter. Anyways, man, we don't want to get too much into it because we don't want to make Antifa mad. Look, just real talk. So anyways, he comes, he's staying with me for like a week. My lady's like, I don't know about your primo. He looks at me crazy. And I was like, nah, he's just looking at you cockeyed. That's just, he was born with a lazy eye like that. He'd be looking at her like that.
Hey, so why you got a big old fucking ass like that? This can I get at you, is that?
Hey, he was different. So, hey, I would take him wherever I went. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go to the hood, bro. You might not want to go. He said, I'm not scared. He said, because long as these vatos keep their fucking shirt on around me, he said, then we're not going to have a, how you about to say it, 104. I can't even, I can't. I'm from Compton. I'm from 113%. If they keep their shirt on, we're going to be cool. I said, well, they're probably not going to keep their shirt on, but then we're not going to be cool, see? And I said, so what are you going to do? Like, I'm going to stay in the car. Fuck that. I said, I know my place. I say, I know my place. You give me your wallet so I can get high while I'm in the car. Right? So needless to say, he stood a lot in the car over that summer because I would just leave him here and there. So anyways, he had been with me since August, and October's rolling around. It's almost Halloween time, right? And so he knew I had already introduced him to fucking Roach. Him and Roach knew each other, and him and Roach were like bosom buddies. They were close, right? So what had happened was around that time, have you ever been on a cruise? Okay, I had the hookup to go on a cruise, Carnival Cruise Line, right? And it was going to be a hip hop show, not a hip hop show, but like an old school show. You know, take me in your arms. Like I was all hype about it, but I couldn't hustle up another ticket for Pepe. And he was like, "Kids, I can't wait to go see Gene Chandler. I'm your puppet." I said, "He's not even going to be there." Hey, fuck it. I said, "I don't want to go, Gene Chandler. You're not going to go anyways." I told him. He says, "Kids, you're a fucking hater." I said, "Keep your shirt on when you're on that cruise. If I see pictures of you," I say, right there by the dock, getting a suntan, I say, it's going to be on. I said, well, let's just get it off right now where we're mad at. Now I say, you're just mad at me because I'm a Sureño. I say, because we're better than you. Right? So he was my cousin. I loved him, but we argued back and forth. So anyways, I had a great, bright idea. I was like, let me call Roach and see if he can hang out with Roach for the week because I was going to be gone for a 7-day cruise. And I ain't going to lie. I was cruising on a Sunday afternoon. I was going to get my motherfucking whale watching on, right? So I was going on there on a cruise with my chick. She was going to go that way. I was going to go that way. And whatever we got into, hopefully I didn't fall overboard because I was going to be that motherfucker like, tas. I was trying to do anything moving because you know them old school hip hop fucking cruises when they have them. Ooh, no. You know, the bitches rock it in the streets to this funky beat. I was at 2:00. The party's still going on. My lady, she's got one of those rafts on, right? She was going to be throw her ass overboard. Anyways, so I already had plans in my mind, like, oh man, I'm gonna take cocaine with me. It's gonna be all good. So I call Roach, and this is exactly how the conversation went. I'll never forget it. I was like, Rocholio, what's up? Hey, brother, it's not a good time to talk right now. My old lady, she kicked me out. I said, you don't even live with your old lady. Yeah, I know. That's what's the fucked up part about it is I went to her house, and I said something that was a little racial. She kicked me out. I said, well, your old lady's black. What did you say? Just that black people trip me out, right? I said, but how do they trip you out if you're with one? He's like, well, we're not with each other right now because she kicked my ass out. Anyways, what's up, brother? You need help? You need money? You need dope? What do you need? Right? At this time, Roach was doing good in the early, like late 90s. That's when he was on. As it got later on to like winter time, you know how like winter gets cold? Hey, the North is coming. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a cold winter. He was playing Game of Thrones. So anyways, he was playing Game of Thrones with all the dope dealers in town. But right now, he was on top of the mountain in the throne. So I was like, nah, bro. I said, hey, you remember my cousin Pepe? He said, yeah. I fuck with Pepe. Pepe's cool. Like, you know what I like about Pepe? I said, what? He can get higher than I can. I ain't never met a fucking Mexican that gets higher than a white man. It's just the white thing to do. Like, we go high, but he goes higher to highest. How does he say it, brother? Let me borrow 10 boners. Right? I said, no, it's yeah, voila. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me borrow 10 boners. I said, no, you want to borrow 10 boners? You said that. I didn't. I said 10 bowlers. Oh, I thought you said boners. Oh, brother, you got a tricky mind. You need dope, brother, because that'll get your mind off the dick and more on the nipples. Anyways, what's up, brother? I say, hey, look, I'm gonna go on this trip with my old lady and shit. The one with the big old nalga? I said, what? You too? Me 3, brother. I looked at that shit twice. That shit's high definition, brother. When she walks, it goes like this. Toss. I said, oh, shit, you're more Mexican than I thought. Don't ever say that, brother. I said, don't ever fucking say that. Never tell a white man he's Mexican. We don't work that hard. So anyways, I'm like, hey, can Roach stay with you, bro? Because I'm not leaving him at my pad and shit like that alone because he'll sell everything. You know how he gets, and then he'll come back with an explanation like this. One time that Vato stole the gold chain of mine, he was like, can you blame me, sir? I took it to the jewelry store because I wanted to see if it was real, sir. So we ended up in the jewelry store. They said, yeah, it's real. So then I went next door to a pawn shop. I said, why would they have a pawn shop next to a jewelry store that was meant to be, sir? It was fucking meant to be, and I walked in, you see.
And there's a vato there that from San Jose, is a South Sider. We got to conversing. He said, damn, it's a fat ass gold chain. I said, you got. And I said, yeah. And he said, you do black? And I said, hell yeah, I do black. He said, you got money? I said, hell no, I ain't got money. He said, you got a chain and this is a pawn shop. I said, that's it. It's meant to be. Hey, if God wills it, then will it. And so I went there. They told me I could give $400. I said, fuck it, give me $350. He said, I don't want to be greedy. And I got it and I gave it to the homeboy and he got me higher than higher. He said, can you blame me?
Yeah, motherfucker, you stole my gold chain. I can blame you.
It says not the first or the last. I'm for something.
Right? He was crazy. So there was no way I was going to leave him at my house because at that time I first got my very first 50-inch TV. Remember when those first came out? The big heavy ones? I don't give a fuck who you are. When it comes to a Tecato, they got superhuman strength. He would have took the whole box, the TV, the pictures that were on it and everything. He would have went to the punch shop like, this is my niece. This is an 8 by 10. I said, what can I get for an 8 by 10? Like, he's crazy. So Roach is like, bro, I don't know if my mom's going to allow that. I said, well, can you take him to your old lady's house? Let him stay there. He's like, bro, why would I take that guy? I said, well, because you know how he is. He's from Compton, man. They don't get along with brothers. So, you know what I'm saying? He ain't going to trip on it. Yeah, the brothers, but the sister's different. Yeah, have you ever seen how big my old lady's muffin is? I said, yeah, that's not stovetop stuffing right there, brother. That's good old Alabama slamma jamma. Like, that's the good shit. I said, well, can he stay? What if he looks at my mom a certain way? He already boned your mom, I think. The way she looks at, she loves Pepe, right? He's like, brother, don't ever say that. You think she does? You know, I wouldn't put it past my mother. She's a whore, brother, right? She is a little bit of that. So anyways, I convinced him and I was like, hey, Pepe, you're going to go stay with Roach.
He's like, that's my fucking guy right there. Give me, yeah, hola, can I borrow 100 bola when you're leaving? Because what happens if I can't eat?
I said, you don't eat anyways. You just want to get high.
That's what I mean. My veins got to eat. Remember that movie Freddy Krueger said? When that one time he had the needle like that, my favorite part is the veins were going, that's how mines go. Can help me out? You give me 100 bola. I promise everything. When I get money, I'll give you back your gold chain.
I said, that shit's long gone. That was a year ago.
It's the best year of my life, is it?
So it's around Halloween time, right? So I go for the week, man. We go on our little cruise. It's great, right? We had a good time. And I get back, and I ain't even gonna lie. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna leave my primo there. He hasn't called me. I'm not gonna call Roach. They don't know when I get back, so fuck them, right? Shit. I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't even home 10 minutes. Roach just called me. Hey, brother, what's up? Are you gonna come pick your primo up? I said, no, I ain't gonna lie. We had good times. But, brother, tomorrow's Halloween. So, I have some plans to hand out some candy. And, there's this one biker dude. He's gonna come over. Him and his old lady dressed up. She always wears chaps. They like dress in reverse. She wears the assless chaps. He wears the chapless ass. So, I kind of want to just trip out. They're gonna come over. They're good friends of mine. And, I don't want your primo to freak him out. He's been freaking people out. Right now I'm on drought. This guy he smoked all my dope. Okay, right now it's bad. Come pick this fucker up before I turn his ass into mild salsa. Right? I'm like, all right, I'll be over there, Roach. So I slide through, right? And we get to talking and shit. And Roach is like, and Pepe's like, KCK, how was it? Did you get the tidal wave and shit, is it? Well, who was all there? Who was at the concert? Was it badass, is it? This gay Roach, give me high. Roach is like, hey, brother, like I'm on my last sack. When I say my last sack, besides my nuts, this is it.
He's like, yes, don't be playing keepers away, man. Finders, keepers, losers, whippers. Listen, remember when your mom lost her pearl necklace? Yeah, remember when I found it 2 days later at the pawn shop? I told you someone pawned it. I told you. Too bad they didn't know who did it.
I'm like, oh, fuck. So he's like, brother, I know this dude's a thief, and I know he's an addict. I thought I was an addict, brother. This guy makes me look sober. Do I look sober? I'm like, nah, you look wide awake. So anyways, I was like, hey, well, do me a favor, bro. I'm going to take my old lady because she has her kids. So my chick at the time, she already had 2 kids when I met her, right? And then we had a daughter, and then she had a couple kids after. But at this time, she hadn't had my daughter yet. She was pregnant with my daughter. She had her 2 kids. So she would go spend time with them. So she was going to go for Halloween over there. And I was just going to kick it at the house and watch the Grinch, right? I wasn't going to do too much. I was going to watch Charlie Brown's fucking Halloween show. And Roach was like, why don't you guys come over, brother? You and this pendejo. I said, who? This pendejo. He said, hey, look at it. I let you get away with a lot during this week. You know what I'm saying? I let you get away with accusing me of stealing your mom's necklace, which I have no comment. I let you get away with feeding me all that fucking Salisbury steak because I got Salisbury steak coming out of my ears. I feel like Scarface. I got octopus. I let you get away with a lot. It's, when I ran out of my 100 bolas, that 10 minutes after my primo left, you didn't give me shit. I let her crank. I said, guess what? I don't like crank. I like to get uncranked, as if you know that. He got me uncranked the other day. I was like, oh, shit, this was high as fuck. So I'm like, yeah, we'll come through, right? So we go to my pad, and we go drop my chick off, right? Boom, we drop her off with her kids. She's gonna be over there with her sister and her kids and whatever. Their kids, they're gonna go trick or treating, and I don't know why I couldn't go. Why wasn't I invited? You want to know why? Because there was a dude dressed like fucking Zeus walking around with her. That's why. Some brother, man. And they say I don't like brothers, man. I allowed him to bum my old lady, right? Anyway, so let's trip out. We go over to Roach's house, and he ain't lying, man. This blonde chick that's over there, she's tall, she's blonde, she's succulent, she's right on time, right? And she's wearing the matchless chap, just like you said. He's like, brother, she's the same thing every year. Like they were like, hey, what are you guys doing for Christmas? I'm like, fuck that. Last time she came for Christmas, she was wearing a fucked up fucking sweatshirt. Tits are big, but you couldn't really see them. But I know Halloween, she goes all out, and I'm trying to go all in, if you know what I'm saying. Brother, if you could do the diversion tactic, you and your cousin, and take your fucking old man over there and get him high or something so I could, you know what I'm saying, proceed to the next light. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work. That's a big old biker-looking dude with a handlebar mustache that is crooked. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you ever see a white man with a crooked handlebar mustache, don't fuck with him. He's on his Hulk Hogan shit, literally. Don't fuck with him, right? And so we're kicking back. And so that dude, he's like, hey, Roach, you know, we're going to get up out of here. And we've been like handing out candy. Kids are we're in the front yard drinking. They're high as fuck. I'm yayed out the game. We're just chilling. And so we go in the house. And now you got to understand that Roach will close the front door and you got to come to his window. And all the neighborhood kids, they know Roach hands out the bomb-ass candy bars. Like, that's what he does. He has like all kinds of candy. He'll give you like a handful. He's a tweaker, so he don't care. He'll just, here, take some more. We're not going to eat it, right? Of course we're not, you know, until he's coming down and he's like, bro, I sure wish I had a fucking almond joy. That's just how he is. So as we're kicking back, less kids are coming, right? Well, that dude, before he left, he had plugged Roach and Pepe. And he was like, Casey, come in and Pepe's like, Casey, your homeboy plugged me. How about we do this? He said, you got any more of that black, is it? Roach is like, I can get some, but I don't know if my African-American partner wants to come through. It's pretty late at night. He don't go out after dark. And so you might have to wait till the morning. And Roach is and Pepe's like, come on, and see, call him up. You call him, I got a little pelota. Your homeboy helped me with a pelota. He said, brother, I don't even know if it's real shit. You open it. Yep, that's real. So he took Roach's pelota, right? And he had it in his pocket. And he's trying to call this brother, man, that was from Oakland, that lived in Merced, that used to fuck around, right? He was that guy when it came to the black. And the dude's like, look, if I'm going to slide through, I'm out with my old lady. We're out here trick-or-treating and doing our thing. I'll be there like about 2, 3 in the morning, which was normal for Roach. It was all hours, 24/7. But it's Halloween and a gang of kids are coming. So he's like, hey, move over, fuckers. I'm on the phone. Give my handful of candy, Peps. Right? Pepe's like, Casey, go one at a time. I say, one at a time because I could take this shit and pounded it. So one at a fucking time, little rugrats. And I'm sitting there fucking drunk as fuck, yayed out like, these motherfuckers are stupid. But they're a perfect combination, right? Perfect strangers. Valky Bartakamus and Cousin Laddie. And at this point, Valky Bartakamus is Roach. He's like, oh, I don't like Cousin Larry. Right? So as fucking Pepe's handing this shit out, Roach had put the pelota. It was like in not a fucking balloon, but like a color. It was in a bag and then it had like colored rubber bands around it. So it was like purple. And somehow, some way, Pepe grabbed it and threw it in this kid's bag. So this kid's walking around with a teener of caca, pro, back in the days, right? And they don't realize, and Roach is like, hey, brother, where's that shit? The one I set down right here. And Pepe's like, I don't know, it's safe, okay. And he's like, did you steal my shit, brother? You got your shit, you stole my shit. And he goes, hey, your shit was already open, you see? You're picking of it, where's my shit? And now they're tripping, right? And his Roach is like, did you fucking, that purple thing that was right there, the one that you gave me to give to old boy, that he's going to be coming over here for, and he'll beat our fucking asses. That's one black dude I never want to fuck with, right? You mean to tell me you gave it to some fucking little kid? Let me tell you guys right now, these motherfuckers went all over everywhere looking for kids, right? Scaring kids. Kids were running. Look, the kids that came, one was just like RoboCop, and the other one was fucking Lionel from, what was that show called? Thundercats. I think they gave it to Lionel, right? But look at, they come back and they're all disappointed. Brother, there's some fucking kid. He's going to open it up. He's going to be high as fuck. This is a tragedy. And I'm like, it sure is. And they're like, yeah, brother, we got no more dope. What are we going to do? We only got what's left. And I ain't going to lie, I'm doing that. I ain't giving that to that, brother. And Roach and Pepe's like, we got to come to some type of understanding. I said, the reason these kids run from us is we're not dressed up. I said, we need to dress up. So I gave him the bright idea of being Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. This motherfucker Pepe threw on one of fucking Roach's funny-ass cowboy hats, smeared all kinds of fucking red shit all over his face, and put on a ripped-up-ass sweater with a glove on that didn't even have things. He's like, I can put butter knives. I say, I'm Freddy Krueger. I say, yeah, Freddy Krueger was a chomo.
I'm Freddy Ruger.
Hey, and this motherfucker threw on a mechanic suit. Do I look like Michael Myers? I said, whatever, do this. He was like, oh, I could just do it like do what? His cheeks instantly went. He goes, how I look now? I said, dead on. The Rob Zombie version. It wasn't even Rob Zombie time yet, right? But he looked like Rob Zombie. That motherfucker looked like Rob Zombie in a mechanic suit. Bald headed. No teeth. These motherfuckers went all around their neighborhood and they're like, you're going to go? And I was like, I ain't going nowhere, man. I'm going to keep it. In fact, I'm going to go home in a little bit and just chill and eat these fucking candies that you guys left. Maybe you never know. I might even get spun out because you might have other dope in here. No one used to be over. These motherfuckers went all night long. The black dude came and helped them look for it. They eventually tracked Lionel down, ripped his bag up out of his hand, dumped his whole bag out, all in the muddy water, all on the ground for the little pelota that had busted open and there was powder everywhere. And fucking, I seen fucking Roach. He had the whole bag and he was dumping it on the table like he told the black dude, it should all be there, brother. The black dude's like, man, you guys are going to have to come with some money or something, right? So what Roach did was he took a little bit of the crumbs, stuffed it in the other one that he had just opened, and gave it to a boy and traded for what he traded. And him and Pepe got there and they got high off the bag all day long. And then they got high some other way. True stories, man. That's the Halloween edition. I seen it with my own eyes. These motherfuckers were, hey, come here, little Bo Peep. I was like, man, you guys are scaring these kids. The parents are all like, the fuck is these tweakers, right?
Pepe's like, fuck all that shit. It's in from the sur. Let me see your bag. It's it. Oh, shit. I like mounds. You got a lot of mounds. Can I dig for the mounds, is it?
Hey, Pepe, we're supposed to be looking for dope.
The parents are like, my kids don't got dope.
Well, they find that one of these fuckers does.
You know what I mean?
How do I know? Because I gave it to him.
It was crazy. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the Superwood Holiday Edition. I know it's a little late, but better now than never, man. I got part 2 to the Superwood Field Story tomorrow coming up and so many more classics. So tap in. If you like this, hit a 1. If not, hit a 2, and I'll make it go away like I do. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Pepe's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. Remember, this video is being sponsored by Barrio Liquors out there in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the area, go tap into the Barrio and show some support. Bang, bang.